Hello everyone, welcome to our new tier list for the weapons of Splatoon 3 in the fresh season. I am alongside my good friend Leon here. Say hello.
Hi, I'm Leon, also known as an L3 professional.
That's a bit of a spoiler for the meta-defining weapon, but we're
Oh,
actually going
was
to
I
be
not
talking.
supposed to say that? It's okay.
It's okay.
Teaser, teaser.
I'm sure
It's
most
a
people
teaser.
watching this have seen it in top ranked and Anarchy Open and series way too many times. Anyways. So we're going to be ranking all the weapons based on how useful they will be at top level. As you know, you can play whatever you want in Anarchy. It literally doesn't matter what you play. But if you want to know how, if you want to win, these are weapons you can play outside of solo queue. So yeah, just to get things obvious, being fast and having a lot of mobility is really good in Splatoon, obviously. So having longer range or stronger weapons like that are not really good. If you played a fighter game, you can understand. So we're going to start with Rapid. What do you say, Leon? What do you think about Rapid? Just regular Rapid, Ink Mine, and Tri-Strike.
I think Rapid is all right, but the the inaccuracy of it really brings it down.
Yeah, I have to agree. While Intensify Action really helps out blasters a lot, its lack of paint and mobility makes it like really kind of bad right now. Its kit is actually pretty good. Ink Mine is really good at stopping people, and Tri-Strike is, it nukes the building. It's pretty good, but I think outside of that, there are better weapons. I'd probably put it right there. Rapid Pro though is just worse. It's way slower, and it has Ink Fact, which is kind of broken, but like, yeah, that I think the main weapon is just too weak for it to be any higher right now.
Agreed.
Okay, Clash Blaster is really okay. Clash Blaster has Splat Bomb, which, as we both know, is like really good because it kills people. Its damage is it two shots, and it's really fast at close range, right? And you can
Yeah.
you can like move around pretty quickly with this thing. It has Trizuka though, which is kind of weak right now because it's because you're really vulnerable at close range, and only has 3 shots that are really slow. So I honestly put this only in like here.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
I think that's true. Plus, with how fast the firing rate is, even if it takes a while based on the indirect damage, you will eventually get it by holding down the button.
Yeah, I can't really say anything different. On the other hand, we have the other bad blasters. Oh no.
Oh,
Range
unfortunate.
Blaster has a 1 shot, but it's so slow. It doesn't have a lot of
So
ink,
slow and
and it's so
inaccurate.
inaccurate. Like this thing is so inaccurate. You have to run Intensify on this. It's really bad. Suction Bomb is kind of good, but it's just worse than Splat Bomb. But Wave Breaker is awful. People can just jump over it, and then it doesn't do anything. I don't really like the special right now.
Yeah, very
Regular
unfortunate.
Blaster is even worse though. To be honest, this Big Bubbler. This is gonna become a common
Because it
theme.
has less range. Imagine
It
that
has
for
less
less
even. It has
range.
less range, so that's good at close range. But like, this is an unfortunate weapon because Auto Bomb is really overpowered right now because it can track people
Yeah,
and it kills
especially
them
with people in
instantly.
Ninja Squid.
Yeah, especially with Ninja Squid. You're right. But Big Bubbler is such a terrible special because of Ultra Stamp. This is gonna become a common theme. Ultra Stamp is gonna really push out a lot of specials. So this thing is just down here because of that. Luna Blaster, I actually say it's probably the second best blaster because unlike it's faster like Clash, but it's not. It's only a 1 shot, which is good. So it has Splat Bomb, but it has Zipcaster, and Zipcaster is like I don't even know how to aim this thing sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with this thing. Even at top level, people just don't know how to use it. It's weird. Oh, this weapon. Okay, onto Ink Rush. I don't think it's really good. I'd probably have to say it's here because like you can move around with it and it has a bomb, but it doesn't do like any damage.
What about its special though?
Killer Whale is terrible though. Like it doesn't. I mean, okay,
That is true.
actually
I mean,
no,
it
no.
kind of tracks. It kind of
It's
tracks
it's really
people.
bad against everything, but it's really good at countering Ultra Stamp because it tracks the Ultra Stamp player, so they have to get out of it. So I think that's honestly that alone might bump it up to here. But I think the main weapon is just so weak; it's kind of just here.
Yeah,
Killer
yeah,
Whale
that's
is
fair.
kind of the
That's
big
fair.
like anti Ultra Stamp, so I like that. Octobrush is probably one of the worst weapons in the game, though.
Unfortunate.
It doesn't move unlike Inkbrush.
Slower.
It has a lot of
slower.
range, which is really overpowered, but it has Zipcaster, and that doesn't make a lot of sense, to be honest, and that's really weak right now. Ultra Stamp can just kind of squish it, you know? Onto the Gootuber. I think this is...
That is really
I think this is kind of broken.
Dude,
I
the
think
charge hold on
everyone
that,
thinks
that's,
this is really
insane.
broken, while 10 missiles is really bad because you can just move out of the way. Torpedo is only a slightly worse autobomb, and this thing can kill with partial charges. It can kill...
Okay, but the
like,
charge holding
range.
and... Yeah,
charge holding this thing is really strong.
The
Tap shot is
crazy.
Really... I think this weapon has a lot of potential. I just wish it didn't get 10 missiles, because if it did, it could have been so much higher, but it's just here. Its biggest weakness really is just dealing with you know, Ultra Stamp again, because it's a charger, so it's really bad. But hey, it's one of the better ones. This is speaking of chargers, this is really good. It's
fastest charge time.
It's fastest charge time, so it's honestly arguably better than GooTuber. You're a charger. Are you a charger player? I forget.
Kind of. Like, I run it sometimes, but that's when I'm, like, feeling silly enough to do it.
Oh, okay, so when he's playing more casual, that's fine. But, yeah, no, chargers are, like, really overpowered right now, because a lot of people on Twitter say it is, so I have to agree. This has Autobomb and Killer Whale, and as we know, tracking things is really good because of Ultra Stamp, so I think that kit is, like, top tier right now. It doesn't one-shot, though, which really sucks, but I think because of the kit, it's already better than GooTuber. Oh my god, more bad weapons.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
E-Leader is really slow, so it just kind of sucks.
The slowest of them all.
Yeah. The scope is actually kind of good though, because I have the scope.
Because extra range, yeah.
Extra
you
range.
Get, like, different
but
lineups.
It's still really slow, and it's still an E-Leader. And Wavebreaker is just such a terrible special, so I don't...
Yeah, just jump over it.
You can just jump over it, so it's really bad. Charger is kind of good.
I mean, it's slightly faster than E-Leader.
It's faster,
so, yeah.
but it has Ink Vac, so that's really overpowered.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Scope is up here, obviously, because it's scope, so it's better. Squiffer, oh my goodness. Squiffer is so unfortunate, because it would be, like, up here with the other chargers, but it has Big Bubbler, and as you know, Ultra Stamp just completely destroys Big Bubbler, so it's really bad. Yeah. It's a really fun weapon, though. I wish more people would give this a shot, but it's just terrible. Don't use it. Dually Squelchers is probably the worst dually.
I agree.
Because it doesn't kill really fast. But I think because it's a dually, it's still here.
It's not the best at short range either.
I just wish it didn't have ultra... Like, it's the freaking, like, Wavebreaker. If this had Ultra Stamp, it'd be really good, obviously. But that's because, you know, it's Ultra Stamp. But Wavebreaker is such a bad special right now.
When you just
and they keep putting this on weapons that don't need it. I do not understand. Glugla dualies is... Okay, so if you didn't play Splatoon 2, you would know that the Kensa 52 gal was really good. And this thing has the same kit, so it's going to be right there. And there's no discussion. It's a 2-shot as well. And you have more mobility, so, you know. Obviously, top tier. Until one of the more unfortunate dualies, though, the Splat dualies actually has a good bomb. And it's pretty mobile, but they gave it Crab Tank, which is unfortunately kind of in a bad spot right now. Yeah, because of how slow it is, and then they nerfed it again.
It gets crushed by
it gets instantly crushed by Ultra Stamp. That's a really bad matchup against it. So it's just, it has a bomb and it's kind of mobile, so it'll be here. But that's just as high as it goes, which is unfortunate. Dapple dualies, on the other hand, is probably the best dually right now because Beacon is really overpowered because you can jump to anywhere on the map and you won't know that it's there, right? And Tacticooler is really strong because you can make your entire team move really fast, and that's as we already mentioned, moving fast is really good. Obviously, Ultra Stamp would be better on it, but that's not saying anything. Tetra, I think Tetra is probably the third best dually because it has Autobomb, and that's all it really has going for it. Because to be honest, its dodge rolls are really bad. Like it has 4 of them, but like you're never gonna use 4 of them, you know?
Yeah.
Carbon Roller, I think, is an unfortunate roller. It's probably great. It's great right now because of Autobomb.
It's really fast. It's
really fast and has Autobomb, but
attacking speed's really fast.
But it has Zipcaster. This is unfortunate Zipcaster moment because if it had a better special like Ultra Stamp again, or maybe even like Booyah Bomb, it could have been up here. But it has a good kit, so it's there. Okay, okay. We're just gonna bring this back. in Splatoon 1, this was broken, and it still is. I don't know why they keep buffing this thing, because it has Tacticooler now, and this has a lot of range and can one-shot. This is the only, like, slow weapon I'd consider good because of how much paint and damage it has, you know? You can get Tacticooler really fast because of this. Any thoughts on a Dynamo?
Dynamo, you know, it's like it's all right. I mean, it has a lot of range, but it's super slow. It's kind of like an E-liter.
That's true, but because it paints so fast, it'll get Tacticooler, and that's like kind of broken just because of that.
Yeah, that's true.
And it has Sprinkler. That's you're gonna get your special really fast with this. So I think it's the only good slow weapon we have. On the other hand, we have Flingza, which is it's just bad. It's probably the worst roller. The main weapon is really slow, and it has Ink Mine, which is kind of okay. But then they gave it 10 missiles, so you're not going to be getting it's a support weapon that's going to farm for a special that doesn't really work, like, at all. You know?
A lot of RNG with it also.
Yeah. So, yeah. Onto a weapon I actually really like was Splat Roller, and it has the best sub-weapon in the game, Curling Bomb. A lot of players really like Curling Bomb right now because of how mobile you can use with it. And that's really good for roller, but it has Big Bubbler, which it's unfortunate because Big Bubbler just ruins any weapon it's on because of Ultra Stamp. So yeah. However, we're on to probably the best weapon, probably one of the best weapons right now. One of, not the best, but is one of. It's the Splatana Wiper because it's really fast and it can do a lot of damage and has pretty good range with how fast it is. And it has Ultra Stamp and Torpedo.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be able to paint for its Ultra Stamp pretty fast. And Torpedo is only slightly worse than Autobomb. However, the other sword, the Splatana Stamper, is really weak. It's really slow, and it has, like, Burst Bomb. And Burst Bomb's the worst sub because it doesn't even kill people, you know? Mm. It's unfortunate. And it has Zipcaster. This is probably, like, one of the worst, like, kits it could have gotten, which is unfortunate. Because this thing actually does a lot of damage. Undercover Umbrella is a very strong main weapon. Because a lot of players, it's 3-shot while... It's 3-shot. It's a 3-shot like a splatter shot. But it has a shield. And that's kind of like really broken right now. But its kit is holding it back. Reach Slider is really overpowered, but Ink Mine is not. So
yeah,
it's just kind of
Reef Slider is able to counter like.
Yeah, Reef Slider can do really well against Ultra Stamp because you can go in invincible and blow up, and that's really good right now. But there's better like Reef Slider weapons like Tetra, and Dapple Nuvo. But we'll get onto that eventually. On the other hand, I think regular Brella is only just kind of good. I think regular Brella. The only top-level Brella player right now is Prochara, and Prochara is really good. He plays a lot of low-tier weapons like Splatana's Stamper and Range Blaster, which is really cool. But Brella, he's picking it up again because as Sprinkler, and Sprinkler right now is really overpowered because of its paint. Tri-Strike is also one of the few specials that can beat Ultra Stamp, so that's really good. But Brella is kind of weak because the shield will run away from you, and that's really weird.
Yeah.
But the Tenebrella, I think, is really strong. It's probably the second best Brella because while the shield also runs away from you and it's really slow, and so that's like really obviously like really bad things about a weapon, the shield is massive and that like blocks Ultra Stamp and it can block a lot of other things, like you know Inkjet and stuff like that. It can block a lot of things. It's really strong.
Yeah.
Oh wait, now that we're onto the shooters, I think it's time to talk about Aerospray. Aerospray. I would almost consider it overpowered. If Reef Slider was better, I think it would have probably been the best Reef Slider weapon because you can get it like that, like really quickly because of its paint, and has Fizzy Bomb. So it's kind of like Curling Bomb. It's just worse because it doesn't paint as well. So yeah, it's kind of a sad spot. It's probably the best counter to L3 right now because it's it can paint and get Reef Slider really quickly. It can throw fake Curling Bombs around. Which is pretty good, but yeah, I think in a different meta it could definitely be really a big problem. Splattershot Pro is kind of on the same with dualies to me. Like Angle Shooter is really good because it can mark people, and like Ninja Squid is really common at top level, right? Leon, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you agree that like angle shooter is really good with it, and it does damage too. That's something a point sensor doesn't do. It actually
Angle shooter
does
has infinite
damage,
range.
and that's a lot of damage, and it does like 35, and it can paint really
Little
well.
infinite range.
It's such a
on,
good
like, angle
it's such a
shooter.
good like main weapon
Pretty
and
broken.
sub combination. But it has crab tank, which is unfortunate for the weapon. I think if it gave it something like killer whale, or it would be a lot better. So yeah, on to the next shooter. We have Splattershot Junior, which has a splat bomb. It can shoot 2 of them really easily. But it's painting for the big bubbler, which is probably like one of the worst specials right now. So unfortunate for junior players who came from Splatoon 2 and had ink armor. Sorry for you guys.
Huge downgrade.
Yeah. Squeezer is another really bad weapon because it has splash wall and bombs can like explode on it, so that's really bad for you. And it has Trizuka, which is really terrible. But at the very least, this thing has like is kind of fast. But yeah. Okay. I know I just talked about I just talked about wall being bad, but there is another wall weapon that's on a shooter that is way more threatening than this thing. That's why it's down here, because like a lot of people who are watching this probably think Squeezer is like around here, but it's not, because Squeezer is outclassed by the 52 gal, which I think the 52 gal is really broken because it has a 2-shot, and that's really good. It also has a wall, which while bad right now because you can throw a bomb at it. Killer Whale is perfect for tracking Ultra Stamp. This is probably one of the best L3 counters right now, so it's obviously up there for that. 96. Okay, 96 I think is kind of like overrated, to be honest, because it doesn't really paint that well, but it has a lot of range. But it's worse than 52. It's worse than 52 gal. Sprinkler is really good, and Inkvac is really broken because you can stop an Ultra Stamp with it, but the main weapon is just kind of weak, so I think it's overrated, to be honest. Jet Squelcher on the other hand is literally just like 96 but better. This is probably the best anchor weapon right now, even though anchor weapons are like really bad, because it has angle shooter, which as you know is really strong, like we talked about with Splattershot Pro, but it has Inkvac, something 96 has, but this thing has more range, so it can like snipe people, which is overpowered, to be honest. And Inkvac is just so strong, you know?
Exactly.
Moving on to the rest of the shooters, we have Splattershot. The vanilla Splattershot is, it's a vanilla Splattershot, so I'll just, put it in great use, It's just good. It's the Splattershot.
Very fair.
Sadly, I'd like to apologize to all the Splash players. You guys had to wait a really long time for an actual kit. Splash is, as a lot of people know, is the worst main weapon right now. I almost didn't mention this because I kind of forgot it was in the game. Yeah, it's unfortunate. A lot of Splash players had probably the worst kit in the game. It seems to always get Burst Bomb in every game, which is really weird because it doesn't kill, so I don't know why a shooter would want it. It's a 4-shot, unlike Splattershot, which is really good. So that's weird. And the worst part is that even though it has Burst Bomb, which is like already awful, it has Crab Tank, which is so bad right now. So, rip Splash players. At least you have the Neo now, so, that's good. Oh, N-Zap. Remember when N-Zap was really good in Splatoon 2?
Yeah, good times.
It's a good thing it's still really good, because Tacticooler is overpowered. Tacticooler is really overpowered because you can move. It's like the same thing as Ink Armor in Splatoon 2, but like now it's more fair. And this thing is really broken still. I think they need to nerf this thing, to be honest, but it's fine. Sploosh is kind of really good. I think this is probably like the second best option for Ultra Stamp because it has Curling Bomb. And Curling Bomb is really overpowered right now because you can move with it. The only problem is this thing is like no range. And even though it's really fast and can get Ultra Stamp really quickly, like you have to be really close with it. Luckily Curling Bomb is on it so you can get close to people. I would only say this would have been meta defining if L3 wasn't so strong. H3 is it's just N-Zap but better, to be honest. It has point sensor, which is way better than suction bomb because you can track where people are, and that's like broken. And it's really cheap. I don't know why it's so cheap because of how broken it is. And as you know, Tacticooler is really good. It's a shame that NZAP has such short range, because this thing just completely destroys it. It has a 3-shot, and it makes so like that's better than this.
Yeah.
This is the sad L3. While L3 is probably the best main weapon in the game right now because it's really fast and has a big burst damage. It has Curling Bomb, which is what Sploosh has, was really good, but it has Crab Tank.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it in top tier though because this main weapon is still that good. This is really good. Not L3 players had to wait for their top tier, but this is still a really good option if you want to play this. But there's no point to using it because the other L3 exists. Bloblobber is in a really weird spot because the main weapon is broken because it can like 4-shot at any range and it can paint a lot. So like there's no counterplay. And Sprinkler is on it, so it's gonna paint for its special really fast. But Inkstorm sucks. The fact that I'm putting in mid tier is I'm kind of pushing it to be honest, but it's fine. Tri-Slosher is really good because it can move fast and has Inkjet, and as you know, Inkjet is probably the next best counter to Ultra Stamp because you can just shoot them with it in the sky. But it has Toxic Mist, and Tri-Slosher is really bad as a main weapon to be honest. So I'll probably just put it in my blob.
Yeah. Very fair.
The buckets are really unlucky in this game. Machine has like a really good kit, but the main weapon is just it's too slow. It's too slow. Like Fizzy Bomb is really good because it's like Curling Bomb, and you have Booyah Bomb, which is overpowered because you're like literally Goku. But I just wish it was on a better main weapon. Buckets are just kind of weak in this game.
That's true.
Yeah, regular bucket's gonna go here too. I mean, Spot Bomb is really good, and so is Tri-Strike, but it's a bucket, so it's really bad.
Plus Tri-Strike,
it does kind of beat Ultra Stamp.
Kind of, but
there's better Tri-Strike weapons, There's better Tri-Strike weapons, so
I think Ultra Stamp, it's fast enough to go through.
Yeah, a lot of top players kind of just cruise through it really quickly, but they'll take a bit of chip damage. But there are better Tri-Strike weapons, which is why it's really down here. Yeah, speaking of bad buckets, this thing is so bad. It has point sensor, so that's really good, but it has Inkstorm. Like Blob, and Blob is just better, because it can, 4-shot any range. This thing doesn't even 1-shot. I don't know. And have you ever used this thing? It has like no ink efficiency. That's terrible. I don't know how to feel about this weapon. It needs buffs. Rip X-Blow. Oh, Ballpoint? Okay, Ballpoint is probably the best backliner besides Jet Squelcher. Because it has Fizzy Bomb, once again, Curling Bomb, but worse. And his Inkjet, which is really good against Ultra Stamp. But the problem is that Ballpoint is really weird because sometimes I think it's kind of RNG. Have you ever used Ballpoint before, Leon?
I have. The fact that it has two different modes.
No, wait, no. It's not modes. I think it's RNG. I think it randomly goes from short range to long range.
Yeah. I kind of find myself having trouble with it honestly feels random when it does it.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. It's weird. I think it should just stick to one.
I think it's a bug.
Yeah, it's probably a bug, but it really holds a weapon down because it could have easily been top used more. Okay, Hydra's kind of underrated now. I want to know your opinion. I think Hydra's underrated because it has Auto Bomb.
It has Booyah Bomb, which, pretty strong. You could throw it at a stamp. And yeah, I think it's alright. I think it's top tier.
And it has Auto Bomb, but the only reason it's not higher is because it's so slow. I don't know why this thing is so slow. That's so weird.
Whenever I try to move with it, for some reason, it just it feels like I'm being anchored down by a super heavy weight.
Yeah, it's weird. On the other hand, I think the best Splatling is gotta be Mini Splatling. I really feel bad for mini players because this had Ultra Stamp and it can paint really well for that, and it's actually kind of fast and it's instant like Bamboo. But they gave it Burst Bomb.
No.
Why did they
dude,
give it
the
burst
ink
bomb?
efficiency on that.
The ink efficiency is so good, but it has burst bomb. If it had a lethal
burst
bomb,
bombs, ink
it could have been
efficiency
so
now,
good.
So bad.
It could have been so much better, but it has ultra stamina. It has ultra stamina. That's so good, but it has burst bomb. Ah, mini players. I'm sorry, and Zinc Mini didn't get better. Nautilus is kind of okay, cause like, okay, it's like GooTuber, so it has like a charge hold, but it's on a Splatling, so it's worse. But it has a point sensor, so I can see it being up here just because of that. I think it's kind of overrated though, but yeah. Heavy Splat. Oh my god, Heavy Splatling is so bad. This is so terrible. Okay, like it's a Splatling, so it's slow, right? But it has sprinklers, so that's really overpowered because it can paint for its special. But they gave it Wave Breaker. Oh my god! Why do they keep giving weapons Wave Breaker? I do not understand. This weapon does not need Wave Breaker.
I don't like jump rope weapon.
It's so sad. Jumping over it just counters the whole thing. It's worthless. On the other hand, we're gonna get into the bows. I think Tri-Stringer is kind of broken. I'm gonna be the first to say I think Tri-Stringer is really broken because it has two things that can slow down an Ultra Stamp: Toxic Mist and Killer Whale. That's really broken.
That is fair. I mean, like, plus it one-shots also.
It does one-shot, unlike Explosher, which, only 90 damage. That's really weird. Yeah, I think this kit is probably the best kit in the game besides, you know, obviously L3, but I think this having Toxic Mist and Killer Whale is really good. On the other hand, we have the smaller bow. I forget what this thing's name is. This is Curling Bomb, so it's kind of okay. So I'll put it here, but it has 10 missiles.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, and then as you know, 10 missiles is really bad because you can, like Wave Breaker, you just move, but it gets carried by Curling Bomb. On the other hand, we have Luna Blaster. This is the blaster you actually want to play. This is probably the best blaster in the game because it has Fizzy Bomb. Not good as curling, but Fizzy Bomb does let you get in, and has a one-shot that's really close range and fast. However, you can probably guess what makes this one top tier. It has Ultra Stamp, as we've been talking about. Ultra Stamp is really good. If you want to play a close range Ultra Stamp weapon, pick this one. Speaking of close range Ultra Stamp weapons, we have Ink Brush Nouveau. This is the better Ink Brush weapon. While it has Ink Mine, which is really bad, it has Ultra Stamp and it can let you move in really quickly with it, and you can get it really fast because it's an ink brush. I gotta say, if it had a better sub weapon like Curling Bomb, this would have been really busted. On the other hand, okay. All hands, like, no meme. I think Pencil is honestly the best charger. I think it's the best charger. It's kind of like Bamboo where it's 2 shots. It can hold 5 shots, which is really strong. But that's not the thing that's really good about it. Its kit is busted right now. We've been talking about this the whole time, but Sprinkler and Tacticooler is just completely busted. It doesn't paint really fast, and it's a charger, but unlike the other chargers, it has 5 shots instead of 1. I think that's really good. I honestly think that's really good.
Indeed.
Yeah. Dapple Dooley's Nouveau is... okay, Dapple has got a really good kit. Has really good kits in this game. I think Dapples are really good in this game right now. It's not better than normal Dapple, because that one has Tacticooler, but this one has Torpedo, which is basically just Auto Bomb. But it also has Reef Slider, which is super broken, because like you said, it counters Ultra Stamp really hard. Carbon, I think Carbon is way worse than regular Carbon. Carbon Deco is really bad. It's still Carbon, so it's really fast, but it has Trizuka and Burst Bomb. That's such a terrible combo for it.
Also very unfortunate.
Yeah. Okay, on to probably the best roller in the game. We have Big Swig. Sadly, okay, this thing paints really well, so it's going to get Ink Vac a lot, and Ink Vac, as you know, is really overpowered, right? It's not better than Jet, because Jet Swelter, you don't have to actually move with it. And Big Swig is up here because it's a roller, and rollers are broken right now. I just wish it didn't have wall. His wall is useless. It's kind of embarrassing. Okay, okay. I know all the praise I said about Aerospray. I want you to put that into this weapon. I think Golden Aerospray is easily the easily the best shooter right now. Because, well, obviously besides, you know, that shooter. Because Golden Aerospray is, you know, it has Booyah Bomb and Sprinkler. What, you can just get Booyah Bomb the whole game, and that's really good. And Sprinkler,
honestly.
it's just so good. Moving on to a terrible weapon, though, sadly, we have Splattershot, Forged Splattershot Pro. It's probably one of the worst shooters, on the other hand, which is sad. It has Suction Bomb, which is really good, and has a 3-shot, which is also really good. But it has Crab Tank, and that's... I mean, sorry, I'm thinking about the Splattershot. This is Booyah Bomb. So, like, it's... Wait, I'm sorry. I mistook this for the Splattershot Pro. With the vanilla one. Okay. Massive brain fart. I'm gonna keep that in the video because I think that's kind of funny. I'm gonna move... Yeah, no. Forge is kind of good because it has Booyah Bomb. So, yeah. But it's just worse than Aerospray. It doesn't get Booyah Bomb as fast.
That is true. The coverage isn't...
Oh my god. This is so bad. Why does this have Wave Breaker?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It had so much potential.
It had so much potential with Torpedo. Oh, but it had Wave Breaker on Junior. At least this had like... This is big bubbler, so I was like, okay, Nintendo's not gonna give this thing a worse special, and it gave it a worse special. No. Oh, I don't look at it. I don't want to look at it. It's terrible. Tenantech Splattershot is Splattershot, but better. So I'm just gonna put it there. Okay, okay. Splattershot Nova. A lot of people, I haven't really been using this, but a lot of people on Twitter says it's bad.
So it must be true then.
Yeah. It has point sensor and killer wheel though, so that's like a really good counter to Ultra Stamp, but it has 5 shots apparently, so that's like really bad. Like at least Aerospray is like really fast, you know? Bucket Deco has Angle Shooter, which is really good, especially for a bucket, because it rarely gets good kits. It has Zip Caster, so yeah, kind of unfortunate. Zinc Mini Splatling. Another really bad weapon. At least it's a Mini Splatling, so it's kind of fast, and it's Toxic Mist. That would have been really good, because it could have been a really good counter to Ultra Stamp right now. But it just has, Big Bubbler. No. Big Bubbler is such a bad special. Okay. Okay. Rapid Blaster Deco. It's still a Rapid Blaster, so it's bad, but at least it has Torpedo and Inkjet, which is really good. You know? Better Autobomb. Or no, not better Autobomb. What am I talking about? It's worse Autobomb, because it doesn't kill people. And it has Inkjet, which is really good, but it's on a Rapid, so it's just kind of there. If this wasn't a Rapid, I think this kit could have been like here or here, but no. Clash Blaster Neo? Okay, regular Clash Blaster is here, right? Clash Blaster Neo is broken. It has Curling Bomb. It has a really bad special, though, which is Super Chunk. It doesn't do anything. It just puts balloons on the map, which is really weird.
Yeah, and they're like destructible walls.
Yeah, that's really weird. This is like the one good thing about Wave Breaker. It can actually break Super Chunk, by the way.
Yeah.
But it has a Curling Bomb, and it's a Clash Blaster, so I think it's top tier. I think that's really good. Moving on to the more of the fresh season weapons, both Chargers. This has a Wall and Tri-Strike. I don't know why they would give a Wall to a Charger. But hey, at least Charger had a perfect hit, so yeah. That's self-explanatory. So you have Charger and Scope. You know, has a Wall. Kind of a weird choice. Okay, onto the Kraken weapons. I think before the nerf, because you could jump to Kraken and Clam, I think that was like really broken. Right? It was like 10 missiles, but better. But after the nerf, I think Kraken kind of sucks. Like, at least Kraken Roller is a roller and has beacons, so it's like kind of good. I don't know why you'd want to play a Kraken weapon at top level. But, yeah. It's just kind of bad. And 96 is worse, because there's no point using this thing, because this exists. Where is it? Where did I put it again? There. 96 regular 96 is a really broken kit, so like there's no point in using the one with Kraken and Wall. That's so bad. Okay. Jet Sculpture was really strong because it had Ink Vac and Angle Shooter. I want to hear your opinion on custom Jet Sculpture because it's Toxic Mist. Toxic Mist is a really good counter to Stamp.
It's really good for Ultra Stamp, yeah. It slows it down. Like,
but it has Ink Storm. I think that really holds the weapon down. Do you think the Toxic Mist is worth it?
Okay, Inkstorm also kind of slows down.
Really?
Ultra Stamp. You see, like, Inkstorm on its own is kind of like bad, but like
yeah, because it only paints
when it's paired with Toxic Mist,
it like really slows it down.
It super slows down.
Okay, that makes okay. I didn't actually know that, so I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it against for your judgment. Splash Neo is just the better Splash Dramatic because it has a bomb and a pretty good special. So I'd say it's like around here. You know.
Very fair.
This is just the worst NZAP. This is really... It sucks because it got Auto Bomb. And as we both talked about, Auto Bomb is really broken because it can seek people out.
Yeah.
And kill them. Like, that's really broken, but it has Super Chump. And Super Chump sucks. Like, if this was on the tactical weapon, this would have been, like, so good. It might have actually just straight up replaced L3 if, like, you know, L3 wasn't so good. Sploosh Neo is really broken as well. Dude, the Sploosh kits have been really good. The Sploosh players have been really eating recently, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, regular Sploosh is really good, but this one's just almost as good. It has Beacon. It doesn't have Curling Bomb, so obviously it's not better. I'm just gonna pour regular Sploosh, yeah. I'm gonna put it right there. Actually, no. 52 is... No, it's better than 52 because you can get Killer Whale faster. Killer Whale is, as we know, really, really, really broken. Tri-Slosher is just kind of good if you want to not play NZAP. But it has Fizzy Bomb, so it's kind of good because of that. You can actually move in like Sploosh with it, and it has Tactical Lure. I'm actually considering putting it here now. Yeah, no, I'm going to keep it there. It's not better than Sploosh because Sploosh is really, really good. All of their kits are really good. And this has Hammer, but yeah. That's almost all the weapons. Obviously... Everyone knows it's not a secret. As much as I say all these weapons are really good at countering it, you know why this is here. L3 nozzle nose D. I need to just, you know, put it there because, you know.
The king.
L3
it is the instant win button.
Yeah. Get your assault out now. This is the best main weapon in the game right now because it has a really fast burst shot. While it's not super fast, I think it's still pretty fast for its high damage output and how much range it has. And it paints really fast. That's kind of crazy. As you know, it's the best Ultra Stamp weapon because Ultra Stamp is broken. I've already talked about this. All these weapons, they're good because either they work well with L3 or they're a good replacement for L3. However, at the end of the day, it's still countering this weapon. Let's look at this. Pencil can counter it because, you know, it has Tactical Lure and Sprinkler, and it's a charger with 5 shots. Aerospray can paint per Booyah Bomb to stop the Ultra Stamp. Toxic Mist and Killer Whale. This is a pretty good hammer weapon. H3 is a cooler weapon to kind of catch the hammer, right? The Splooshes are good at dealing with hammer and using hammer. It's just... There's a trend here, and there's a reason why L3D is a top-tier weapon. But as we all know, regular L3 got Curling Bomb, and Nintendo had to make sure that this thing was, you know, not broken. So they gave it Burst Bomb. They gave it Burst Bomb to keep it, like, from being top-tier. But even with Burst Bomb, it's still really good. Any closing messages?
No, I think we got it perfectly.
All right. This is the official state of the game. I'm really hoping for the next patches to nerf Ultra Stamp with the way the game's going. I think they're only buffing it. It's kind of weird, but...
Yeah, it's a really weird meta right now. L3D, like... Didn't see it coming, but not complaining.
I think it's actually a really fun weapon, so it's fine. Alright. In this clip, I'm going to be demonstrating why Ultra Stamp is considered the best special in the game right now. As you know, Ultra Stamp is very fast, versatile, and you can even have a thrown mode, and it does tons of object damage. While it does have weaknesses in top level, being able to instantly crush a lot of specials and move very quickly is really strong. That's why Crab Tank has been moved out of the meta thanks to Ultra Stamp. And he's crushed. Now, okay. As you all know, Ultra Stamp right now is obviously the meta-defining special because of its high speed and amazing versatility and amazing damage. It stuffed out specials like Big Bubbler and Crab Tank because of its amazing speed and damage, since Crab Tank is very slow and very bad in this game. Splatoon is a game all about movement, and something like Ultra Stamp is just so strong at top level. If you want more proof, I have someone who has actually played in competitive level. Say hello.
Hi, I'm Kami. I have a lot of names, but I do play for Splatoon at Berkeley, which is at a competitive level. And I want to say that I can't really say much more than what he's already said. I mean, it's really fast. You can kill things really quickly with it. You can throw it if you need to kill off snipers. That's amazing for, really tight, like short range weapons. Um, they also just buffed it actually. So now you can see through it, so you actually can see where you're going. You don't get lost,
Yeah, I don't know why they
which
buffed
is
it.
like
It was really
amazing.
strong.
It
It
was
was,
really good in the first place. I don't
yeah.
know why they did it,
It
and I think they made the radius bigger too,
They
which is
did. It already
insane.
protected you really well in the front, and the only real it has some weaknesses like you can hit it from behind, but with how fast you can move with it at top level, there was no real actual counterplay to this thing, and you can hide in your own ink, which is really strong. And
Yeah,
I mean, this is just further proves why like L3D is like the best weapon right now, because
yeah,
the
it's
main
it's
weapon is
really
so
good.
strong right now. A lot of people are using it, and they're using it they can farm for Ultra Stamp really fast with it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I think it's got like 190p for special, right?
yeah, and
I
it
think
thinks
it's
really
around
well in
there.
general. So yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty damn good, honestly.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.